everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I would do a little bit more welding. There's a little rust area on the driver's side I want to take care of, and then we can eventually move on to welding that front radiator surround back on. I'm waiting on a special socket for the rear axle, so that's on hold at the moment. And I'm also setting up the blast cabinet to finish blasting the steering knuckles for the front subframe. So I thought, well, you know, I'll get stuck back into welding again, start moving that. So I'm just working on the engine bay, the front subframe and the rear axle at the moment. Kind of put everything else to the side so we can start seeing some progress with all these projects. So let me take you over there, see what we got. It's a little bit of a tight area, not as bad as the passenger side one, but and it's not a particularly tricky patch, but I'll show you what we're going to do here. So as you can see, I removed the wiper motor and gearbox there. That's out of the way to give me a little better access, and the area that we're going to address today is this dirty great rust hole here, and it seems to be just localized in this area. Hasn't, as you can see, I've cleaned all around to make sure there's no pitting, little pitting here. So we're going to cut this section out. As you can see, the paint has gone into the low levels of the spot weld, so that indicates where the spot welds, because this piece laps on the other side here. There's a lap here, you see, so you can see the spot welds there, there and there. I might relieve that one as well, I'll see. So I'm going to drill through these, okay, so release it, and then I'm going to cut this patch out, cut this full section out, weld it in, and then re-spot weld on the other side. So that's pretty much the order of business today. And then there is another little devil right there in the corner. So that one's a little tricky because it's right up there, but because it's in the corner as well, we can blend that in nicely and hide it. And then I think we're all done on this side. And then we've got to get into the big beast, replacing this box section all the way along and putting that front radiator surround on. That's a whole big job. Stuff like this I want to get rid of, you know, all this sloppy welding from before. I want it as close to original as possible. And then after all that's said and done, I'm going to remove all the underseal and paint and all that, and then designate an area forward and then get it all in epoxy primer so we can see some real nice progress being made, you know. Give me some results, you know, and then we can carry on with the axle and the subframe at the same time. So first things first, I'm going to come from the other side and drill those spot welds out. Obviously it doesn't matter if I blow through, because I'm going to go up here, use this natural seam here, and then I can round it over, and then it's basically a rectangular patch. I've got a rough piece of metal here that I'm going to use. I'm going to take it to about, I might make it a little longer. Maybe I'll cut a little bit longer, I might come to about here, just because I'm a little close to that final rust hole, and you want to get as good solid metal, no pitting or whatever. It's much easier to weld to, trust me. So let me get a slightly longer one. So that's a little better. I made a little bit of a longer one. Now this patch I can probably just, to be honest with you, just flex into position, because it's a very gentle curve here, and you know, bend as I go, so to speak. It's fairly straight here and then curves down at the bottom there. So this is just 18 gauge steel, which you can generally play with. Okay, so I've bent it as close as I can on the piece of wood. See, there's a little hole there. I don't know whether you can see it. I can't bring the camera in too much closer just because of the way I'm cramped in here. But it's a hole with two slots either side. It's one of those locking receiver nuts. I'm going to take that out because the pitting is very close to it. And if I get close, I'll just start blowing holes. So I'm just going to eliminate that, and then I can re-drill it later in the fresh metal. This captured nut is good. Let me clean it up, that area up, and you'll see. I've got one of these stripping discs on the little angle thing. I can't remember what these have been called anyway. Anyway, you know, one of these things. So that nut's pretty good. Nice solid metal here. So I'm going to eliminate that and just do that. There's a little pinhole here, and then we'll use this as our straight line. So let me get that marked out, and then I'll drill these spot holes out from the other side. Let's just get that roughly marked out. Right, okay, I drilled the spot holes on the lap side on this other side here, and what I found when you're drilling the spot holes, keep your eye out and you'll see a little puff of rust, and that indicates you've gone through the first one. You go much further and you'll blow through both of them. So keep an eye on that little cutter as it's spinning, and you'll see this little puff of rust, and that's the rust that is between the two pieces of metal. It's a good indicator. Is around where the lap joint is, and then what I'll do is I'll cut up to that. Then I'll do as a top wheel to just grind through the top layer, and this one and here. See if we can't arc it up without interfering with that piece on the other side. Buy some good blades for these reciprocal saws. This is Ingersoll Rand blades. First time I'm going to use it. I've had some other decent blades, but I'm going to see how this guy works. I think it's probably going to be a lot better. So. See, if you can see, this is the other side where we've got a little bit of surface rust. I can clean that up, but that worked pretty good actually. And these are the spot holes that I've got to weld this back to our patch. So now all it's a question of is refining this patch to go back in there, and I'll fuss with that for a little bit to get that in. As you can see, that looks pretty decent. So I hope you can see that. I've fine-tuned the patch, treated it with some zinc weld 2 primer between both surfaces here. That fits nicely. I'm going to be able to spot weld both sides, which is nice. Make sure we get a nice strong weld there, and then spot weld these holes from the other side. So I'm just drying this under my lamp here, get this nice and dry, and then I'll set up with my trusty magnets here, get that all aligned properly. I made some fine tuning with the cutting wheel, okay, and I came in from the back here and fine tuned it, you know, all the straight edges, and got a nice welding gap all the way around. So I've got it basically magnetized in. Nice and flush up here. There's a little bit of flex here, so I'm going to put a couple of spots here to hold it, and then level this off, and then I can work it in, making sure before we spot weld we're all perfectly level. So I'm just going to get a couple of tacks on here first, and then readjust. Okay, put a couple of tacks here. You can see that it started to warp really very easily, but that's okay. I'm just going to level this here. I'm going to put a couple of tacks here, work my way round so we're all level, and then I can start infilling. Okay, so I had to stop welding because I ran out of shielding gas. Didn't realise I was low, so let me just show you something. I got a fair ways with it. Get under here, see I got my welded up on both sides. Got to finish off these spot welds a little better because I started running out of gas and it started to get all weird. But anyway, obviously all this gets ground down flush, so that will be all smooth metal. And on the inside, I started to dress it a little bit. Let me get, I don't know if you can see that. Started to dress this top edge. Got some infills to do all around there. Let me get back a bit. There we go. Okay, hopefully you can see that. I started to dress that top edge, and I've got a few little spots here that I, you know, pinholes. I put a strong light source, as you know, behind so I can pick out the pinholes. It's a little more awkward to get to. I had to jump into the engine bay and do some welding, and like I say, the welding started to look weird, and then I noticed I was out of gas, so I can't go any further with that today. But while I'm here, I wanted to show you, I've been cleaning out this channel, you know, where the hood goes here, and this, as you know, gets covered in leaves and garbage and, you know, goop, sealers and paint and all that stuff. But just wanted to show you, see the little drain hole there? Just passed a wire through it, so that drain hole, make sure you clean that out, and that is supposed to come out down here in this box frame here. So the water comes down here, and then this is angled to then go out between those two drain holes at the bottom of the fender, and this is obviously a vulnerable area for rot, as you can see. So again, just a little maintenance item. That just shows you the drain hole passage. Make sure they're clean. And also under here, there tends to be a lot of sealant and stuff and garbage put in here. This is somewhere that if it gets blocked, it'll build up here, run into this member, and then cause problems rotting out. So it's just a cascading effect. So make sure those drain holes are dead clean all the time. You know, maybe some high pressure air line or something of that nature to make sure they're clear. I'm going to work on just tidying all this. There's all this reminiscent sealer laying around here, and chip all that loose stuff off. And so there you go. I started to clean up this little tricky area. See that little hole there, and looks like, get this stuff out, and you see it there. You can see, looks like this tab of metal used to go straight across, and it's rotted that off. So there's pitting here. So this is going to be again another little tricky patch, but not too bad. More access rather than anything is the main challenge. So once they're done, we can move on to that front area, and then we'll be making some progress. Oh, I know what's going to show you. Let's get the camera on a tripod before I go. I'm probably not going to, I'm going to just publish this video, and then I'll show you the smoothed out patch in another subsequent video, because it's going to be a few days before I get gas, and I'd like to upload this video for you guys. So let me get this on a tripod. So I got my package from Down Under. Yeah, I think a few of you that have been following me know what I've got in here. Let me put some gloves on. Don't want to get them dirty, you know. Little trick there. Show your friends. Okay. These came in the other week, or last week. The two front air valves to the air suspension of the 6.3. So there you go, all completely rebuilt inside and out. New plated, blasted cases, they look brand new. So I've been assured that they're as good on the outside, in the inside, as they are the outside. So what a beautiful job. Good stuff. And these are the other two. And this is the main valve inside the engine bay that I will send off and get that rebuilt too. So, okay, sorry about we couldn't get that finished today. I have run out of gas, and that needs a few more spots in strategic areas and then leveling off. I'll get that done hopefully in the week, and then I'll show you the end result. But anyway, As I just showed you, the drain holes. Now I don't know whether this was done at the factory or at a later date when this car had a respray, but I don't know because there's no blue paint on it, because this obviously was originally white. But I dug around the drainage hole on this side, and you know we suffered some floor damage, I think down to blocked drain holes and water finding its way into that little crevice on the floor. We've already repaired that, as you know, but I got to the hinge there, plate, right by where the drain hole was completely covered with all this, I don't know whether it's seam sealer, I guess, but big chunks of it, you know. And I don't, that might have been factory, I don't know, but they doped a lot of that on there, and it was largely blocking that drain hole, and consequently suffering the damage from doing that. So I'm clearing all these big lumpy things out and treating it with a rust treatment, kill any rust that might have started there. I did it on that corner. Let me show you. So you can see the areas that have turned black is where there was surface rust coming through, and I treated with Permatex, you see, and it reacts and does some kind of chemical reaction and kills the rust. So that I just treat all the areas that I've discovered with that stuff all the way down this channel. As I say, the next repair's down here. As I say, this is the other side. You can see the drainage hole way back there, but big lumps of sealer like that, all caked in here and down there, blocking that hole and blocking a good channel for the rain to run out. So I cleared all that out, and I'll just shoot some Permatex in there just to hold it over until we get body prepped and all that for paint. Well, that's it for today. Nice to get back to welding again and getting this engine bay moving along. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Like, share, subscribe if you like what you see. I've noticed a big interest in the Mercedes graveyard, the very first video where we found this beast, you know, up in the woods, which is kind of fun. Maybe it got shared somewhere and it's garnered a lot of interest. But yeah, share the channel if you can, that'd be awesome, and I will see you in the next video. All right, take care, guys. Bye bye.